Right, hi guys. So I've got it charged up now, and even though I turned it on earlier, I didn't actually do anything. But what it did was go into the initial setup. So I haven't actually done anything to the camera yet, apart from I skipped that by accident. So what I thought I'd do is just show you how I set my new camera up. So I've gone into the dates and time, and it's the 2nd of the 1st 2018. Is that right? Yeah. Okay, and it's 6:05 p.m. So that's that done. So menu. One thing I have just discovered is this C3 button up here. That one there. Which is really good because it basically allows you to jump straight into the focus buttons when you just adjust obviously from single focus point to the auto to the continuous and manual focus, etc. So that's really good. I like that a lot. So got to go into menu, and it used to, in fact they've kept it the same. So number 5 is format, which is really good. Copyright info, so you can set up your own company and name in there. So I'd put copyright info on, set copyright, and that's the only annoying thing about they haven't got hold of yet is the touchscreen, which would have been quite nice, wouldn't it? So SJM dot. Remember the days when we used to text like this on our Motorola's. There we go. So sjm.photos. There we go. So display copyright. So there you go. Copyright. I haven't bothered putting my name on there, but so sjm.photos. That'll show up in every single metadata shot. So go back out to menu. We've done that. We've done the area setting. I've put this in the UK. File number series. File number DSC. So what I'm going to do to that is, I don't know how long you can make it. In fact, let's go. Get rid of that. Because I've got the RX10 Mark IV. I've just written that as the RX10. So, pardon me. So what we can do, will it allow me to do the 3? No. So you can only do 3 letters or 3 characters. So anyway, it's set now at a7r, so I know exactly which camera I've taken it on. So either this one or the other one. So push menu, get back out of there. Oh, gone too far. Touch panel, I've got it turned off for the minute. Not really interested in that. I'm a buttons person. Yeah, it's quite nice, but until I get used to it, I've turned off on the RX10 Mark IV the touchscreen. I don't use it. Don't really need it. Some people, I kept touching it with my nose and God knows what else and other fingers by accident. So anyway, right. So we got file type RAW. So just RAW, uncompressed. If I do happen to use JPEG, which I won't very often, Super 35, they've actually put it in a good place, which is cool. So you can have it manual, whatever. Enter number 2. Long noise reduction off. I do that because in the old, well, I don't know how long this will take, but the shots we used to do, say with the a7r3, the a99, the a900, etc. If you had noise reduction on for long exposures, if you did a 5-minute exposure, for example, it will take 5 minutes to put the noise reduction on, so you couldn't carry on shooting. So turn it off completely, and then you can add it via Photoshop or whatever you're using later, which works much better. sRGB, go to full RGB for me. Drive mode at the moment is that. Pixel shift, I have to look into that and see how that works. Focus, continue AF, balanced emphasis. That I shall come back to later. look at that. It's probably balanced, it's probably correct. Focus settings. Focuses extremely quickly. AF illuminator. I normally just leave it on auto, but to be honest, whatever. Center lock on AF. Face priority. AF tracking sensitivity. So I'm going to leave it on. I'll put it on 5 and see exactly how good it is. Pre-AF off, good. Don't need that. It's basically as soon as you basically hold it up to your eye. Oh no, so that's eye start focus. Sorry. Pre-AF is basically as soon as you turn it on, it's focusing. So it's basically wasting battery power. It does work brilliantly in certain situations, but I just use it off. Phase detection area on. Don't need to micro adjust. Exposure compensation 0. Auto ISO. Let's get that into. Into manual, so that's now in manual down here. I adjust it on the fly. Metering mode, spot metering mode center, that's what I normally use it as. Flash mode fill in. In fact, I normally actually leave it. Oh, it's automated, isn't it? I forget now. Leave it in fill in then, because I forget it goes to, oh, there we go, wireless flash. So they've actually thought about it. So wireless flash on. That's where I would normally have it. Red eye reduction off. White balance in auto for the moment. Standard auto white balance. Creative style standard. Picture profile off. Right, so initial focus. So when you're in manual focus, I use the, I generally set it up as like custom button 1 I had on my a7r3. So if you're in manual focus, so I'm using my Samyang 135 f2 lens, which is fully manual. I'd use that to help me focus. So I'd set that up. Peaking setting on, mid, and I have it in red because I just find it's easier to see. Menu. Anti-flicker shoot. That's detecting the lighting, like LEDs and things like that, or fluorescent lighting, I believe in things. So I'll leave that off for the moment. But the fact they can spot that, which is quite good. Stuff this I don't really know. I mean, obviously 4K up to 100 megabits per second. I'll probably leave it at the moment. Normal speed, auto slow shutter, yeah, audio recording, live. Wind noise reduction I've definitely always put on, just seems to help. Silent shooting, really good. E-front curtain on, generally. Steady shot on, steady shot settings in auto. The fact is brilliant, same as the a7r3, you can actually set the focal length. So if you have got a manual lens from like the Samyang 135, you can set that at 135 up to 1000 millimeters, I believe. So that works quite well. Right, so we're getting onto the other buttons now. Display button, so monitor finder, so I can then set up the what I see on the screens, which I'll do later. I'm not going to do that now. Well, actually I could do the monitor. So graphic display, display all info, no display info, histogram. So when you push the display button each time, basically it will go. Actually, they've put the monitor off down there. Look at that. So you can do it on monitor off button as well. That's really good. So quite often I actually turn the monitor off. So if you're doing low light stuff and you just want to be, that's quite good. Histogram, display all info, levels, viewfinder. Yeah, so actually maybe leave apart from the graphic display. So that's that done. And you can do exactly the same thing for the inside the viewfinder as well. Find a frame rate, so you can go up to high frame rates. I think it's 100 frames a second or something like that. Exposure set guide. This is the bit, live view display. So if you're shooting in studio, basically I'll show you now actually. So with it on, we are set at 1/250th of a second, f5.6 and ISO 100. We can't see anything. So if we were to use a flash now to get our shot, that would work brilliantly because the flash would actually light up what we want to see. But if we go into here and turn it off, suddenly you can see. So in studio you have it like that, and obviously general use you'd have it like that. So you have it set on. Off for in studio, on for, you know, normal lighting and whatever you're doing. Continuous shoot length, not displayed. I'm not sure what that is. Always display. Shoot only display, always display. I'm guessing that may be a timer to show you how long your exposures are, but I'll have a look into that. Auto review off, does my head in. Custom keys. So custom keys. So custom key 3 C3 is already the your shooting mode. So if you're going from your autofocus mode, so AF, C, AFA, and AFS. So custom key. So what we're going to do there is custom button 1 is that. So what I normally have custom button 1 on is focus magnifier. There you go. So that's now focus magnifier. Custom button 2. I used to use custom button 2 for the movie button because the movie button on the a7r3 was here. We're in a really annoying place, and it was like, but now they've put it there. There's no need. So I've actually got a spare button which I'll set up later, the same as focus mode and everything. We'll see how I get on with this. It's just a little bit slightly different, so we shall see. So let's get out of there, and then you go to custom menu. So if we go out of there actually, so if you go, you've got your function button here, same on the a7r2, same as the a6300, 6500, the RX10 Mark IV, all the same. Push your function button, you get your quick menu here. This is why I don't get why people moan about the Sony menus. Once you've set the camera up originally, I very rarely go in to change anything, very rarely, because you can put everything here. You know, the stuff you generally use, you put here. It just makes sense. Really good. You know, so I've got the priority of the card priority, so I can have 1 or 2 for its you know, recording media. For you obviously got your ISO, which I don't need because I've got the instant ISO button here. Metering mode, exposure compensation, focus area, your autofocus, but now I can get rid of that. There's a couple of things now that are redundant because I've got a button here, the button there anyway, so those two would go, and this one here, which is also the drive mode. So 3 of the there, I can actually put some other things up. I've just got your auto white balance, your flash, and your flash compensation, and your different mode. So it's really handy. I use that button all the time. It's literally like ding in there, change a couple of things, done again. So that's why you know, once it's like anything. If you're using a Nikon or a Canon, you learn the camera. You use it over time. You learn the buttons. You know, so anybody who's reviewing cameras that aren't the stuff they're using, it's just pointless because they're not, unless they've used it for a week or two, it just doesn't make sense. You know, so anyway, that's the reason I love this little function button here. It's so quick to get into what you want to set up. It just works. So back into the menu system, dial setup, front and rear, your aperture and your time value, or your shutter speed, and rotate. So what else have we got here? So on to the next one. EV compensation off. You can have it as like that, but I don't know why. Movie button always, so anytime you can just go straight into a movie. Lock operation parts, don't know what that's about. Multi-selection over, dial and wheel, all. Not really sure, I'll have to have a read of that. Might actually have to read the instruction booklet. Audio signals on. I quite often have them off. Just, I know I can see when the camera's in focus. I can, you know, it's just annoying. Makes it a bit more subtle, especially if you're in a church or something like that. It's like you don't need that. Next one. So you've got all your centre smartphone, view on a TV, control with a smartphone, and airplane mode. Normally, for 80% of the day, I'll have it in airplane mode on. Just saves the battery. Wi-Fi's turned off. Wi-Fi settings, Bluetooth, and your device name and stuff like that. Actually, that's quite nice. You can actually change the name. Oh, they've actually got it. That's fine. So at least you know what it's going to be called. And then you can protect your playback, ratings set, custom key, specify printing. You can copy. You can do quite a bit here. Slideshow, stuff like that. And image jump settings. There's a few things here, like I say. So select media. So you can go slot 1 and slot 2, because obviously you've got two card slots now. And then so I should be able to set up which card is for which. Then you've got viewfinder brightness, monitor brightness, which I normally both have on manual. Once I've worked out what it is, it gives you a pretty good feel for it. You have to look through the viewfinder. Color temperature, volume settings. Normally have it at full blast, so at least if you're playing back so you can hear it. So display quality, high. Power saving mode 1 minute, absolutely fine. Auto power off, temperature standard. Whatever, never had, not even the a7r3 I got hot enough to worry about. Cleaning mode, touch operation. So touch operation will be this screen, which I'm going to leave off for the moment. Touch panel only, so into the touchpad settings. Remote control, which I actually have on. So that's the infrared remote control up front, and I've got the infrared remote, which is actually quite handy for doing bulb and stuff like that. So if you're doing some low light stuff with the stars and you want to do some bulb shots, locking the shutter open, it's really handy, quite easy to do. Saves logging onto your phone and actually control it that way. HDMI settings, basically you can obviously for sending images off out of the camera, being tethered. So now we're getting onto USB connections, PC out remote settings, and USB power supply and stuff like that. Date and time, and then obviously into the version. There is already, actually it's version 1.1, so I don't even have to do it. So it's already been updated. There was a firmware update. I just downloaded it actually just to see if I need to do it, and no, obviously I don't need to, so that's fine. And then you've got your own My Menu setting, which is really good. So basically, as you come out of your camera, if you push that menu button, it remembers where you've been. So what you can do is actually you've got your new menu, so you can actually make your own menu. So if you pick out any of this stuff in here that you want to use quite a bit, so like for example probably the airplane mode, turn it on and off, you can put it in My Menu. And set the camera up so as you want it, so nice, quick and easy to get in. So you've got even more customization there, so that works really well. So one thing I've noticed straight away, the build quality of this thing is really nice, but yeah, so I mean you've got 4 custom buttons on the outside, so you've got C4 there, 1 and 2, if I can bring it into shot there, so you've got 1 and 2 there, and then you've got C3 there as well. Like I said, I mean I adjust my ISO just by pushing on the right hand side, so you can adjust your ISO up and down. You then got your shooting modes, so your shot, how many, if you're going to do single shot or bursts or bracketing and timers and bracketing and stuff like that. You now got the display button at the top, which is, well, had anyway, so you can bring up all your data, and then that's the display off, and then back on again. You can see everything here you need to see, and then down, I haven't actually set that button to do anything, so that's another custom button down. So you've got ISO, drive mode, display, and the down button I used to actually set as the stabilization, so turn the IBIS off. So if you're on a tripod, ideally you might as well turn it off, stop it trying to do stuff. Other than that, it's absolutely brilliant. I mean, I'm going to keep I'm not going to bother with the vertical grip like I did on the a7r2, as the battery's going to last a lot longer. But it's you know, it's just what a bit of a kit. So yeah, now I'm going to try and take some photos with the a7r2 next to it on the same lenses, same shots, and then we'll just do a general comparison. To be honest, they're probably going to look very, very similar anyway. It's just this has obviously been improved that much. Obviously bigger battery, faster focusing. You've then got the pixel shift, so you'll move the sensor left and right and up and down, I suppose, to give you a load of shots that you then put together later with some software. It's a shame it doesn't do it in camera. Obviously got all your dials and everything, and it's just, yeah, it's just nicely made. I mean, it just fits my hand size. I've got the average size hand, I suppose. It just fits really nicely. You know, it's just about right. Compared to the RX10, which I'm filming on now, you know, it is a different camera, but it's actually smaller. So this will actually fit in my bag I actually use for the RX10 quite nicely. So if I just want to take out the camera, the 25mm or 35mm lenses, just for the day, I can without having to carry the big bag. So that works rather well. So anyway, that's just a quick setup there, guys. You can obviously see there, you've got a C. That's showing the copyright information. That's showing the amount of images I've got on card number 1. I've got card number 2 in there as well, but I haven't actually set it up to use the second card for anything yet. That's your drive mode. That's your focusing mode. Your light meter. It's got face tracking on at the minute. What else you got here? Auto white balance and your other metering there. So and obviously your what do you call it, the arty bits where it can do like stuff that I'd never use, but like the miniature mode and vivid things and other things like that. Dynamic range optimization is on auto. I normally turn that off, to be honest. And down here you've got your shutter speed, your f-stop, your if you're underexposed or overexposed by how many stops, and your ISO setting there. So it's extremely easy to use. Obviously, as soon as you put your hand or finger up to, or your eye even, up to the eyepiece, it then shows up inside on the viewfinder. And that is one hell of a high resolution screen in there. It's absolutely amazing. I just had a look through it a while ago and it's just like, what the hell? It's one incredible thing. It's got better and better and better. So anyway, that's it for the moment, guys. I shall be back with another little video with this thing soon. I'm now going to shoot, like I said, side by side with the a7r2 and the a7r3. Just do some shots and see how we go. So anyway, see you in a bit.